Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I didn't get to see Katt Williams. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I went to Cleveland for Deacon Mike. Congratulations, Deacon Mike. Couldn't blow off Deacon Mike's big day. So, I had to pick Deacon Mike or Katt Williams. It was tough. I mean, I flipped a coin. First was 2 out of 3, and then 3 out of 5, and then I did 5 out of 7. I was like, all right, God's trying to tell you, be there for Deacon Mike. So I'll watch Katt later, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Also tonight, the roast of Tom Brady. I'll talk about that one on Tuesday. I mean, these things are late at night, and I got to pre-record this podcast and go to bed. You guys have no idea what my sleep schedule's like. My dog is 16 and a half, man, and I'm sleeping with her in the basement because she has to get up a couple times. It's like having a newborn. So I go to bed at 9:30, and I'm up at 2 in the morning and 5 in the morning. I'm exhausted. Barstool said people don't talk enough about how horny Seinfeld was, and I think they mean the show, not Jerry. Although... do you know where I'm going? Google the word Shoshana. All right, moving on. Why don't you Google that one? People kind of free pass that one. It's not a little weird. It's weird. We free pass that one. I don't know why. Barstool writes, when I look back at the show now, it almost feels like a whole showcase for Jerry Seinfeld to establish himself as a man who, quotes, pulls bitches, and Barstool wrote Jerry's words, not mine. There are a total of 66 women in the graphic that they made, but according to sources in the show, Seinfeld, the character, dated 73 women in the 180 episodes. That averages a new woman every 2.47 episodes. Barstool writes, he accumulated a roster of 90-style smoke shows that would make Leo DiCaprio tip his cap, a murderer's row of beautiful women, and one stray Jennifer Coolidge. They write, sorry, Jennifer, that was an unnecessary low blow. You're very attractive in your own right. I loved you in White Lotus. The list is full of heavy hitters, but to name a few, Terry Hatcher, Christine Taylor, Kristen Davis, Kathleen McLennan, who walked around naked in Jerry's apartment. And don't forget that he ended up repulsed by her because he didn't like the way her naked body looked when opening a jar. And, of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They wrote, it's like they cast the show with Julia as Elaine, then Jerry said, hey, let's make sure we put in the script that I used to bang her. Courtney Cox. Deadspin writes, and a big old creepy shout out goes to whoever wrote the episode where George Costanza was caught red-handed looking at the cleavage of his boss's high school daughter. The daughter, played by Denise Richards. Barstool writes, people throw around the phrase, they can never make that episode today. But I do believe a main character staring daggers at a 15-year-old side character's cleavage and playing it off as a clumsy goof would not fly on modern-day cable. Oh. See, I deliberately don't pre-read these things. I like to react. Not to go too far down the rabbit hole of creepy Seinfeld things, but I can't possibly write this blog without mentioning the fact that at the ripe age of 38 years old, real-life Jerry Seinfeld began dating a Shoshana Lonstein, a 17-year-old high school student. I understand it was a different time, but come on, Jerry. It was not a different time. It was not. I lived through that time. At the time, we were like, huh? Barstool adds, great show, though. All right. While I'm causing trouble, I was doing some prep for the show, and I found this wonderful clip from 2018. This is Jim Gaffigan on CBS Sunday mornings, I assume, doing his weekly commentary. And here, Jim talks about anybody and everybody making their own alcohol with stupid names. I hate those people.
I like beer. This may not surprise you by looking at me. I am an overweight American male in my early 40s. Now it seems every city, town, and hamlet I visit has its own beer made by locals. Specialty beers, micro beers, craft beers made by community artisans. And I can tell you without exception, they're all bad. I'm not exaggerating. No, I don't care how cute the beer name is that has to do with local folklore. I don't care how beautiful the hand-drawn label is of the cactus wrestling a penguin.
Neil Brennan spoke to Forbes, and he was curious, does this interview entitle me to 4 more free articles in Forbes this month? Forbes is like, do you read publications like Forbes? I don't know if you've looked it up, but top comedians make as much as the top athletes. Kevin Hart told me he's going to be a billionaire. Neil said, does he have the date in his calendar, like on April 6th, come to my I'm a Billionaire party? They asked a real question. Neil, would it alienate comedy audiences if they realized how much money some performers were making? Neil said, it's a weird thing. There's a lot of big earners. I don't think people really associate it with comedy, but it really doesn't matter how much money you have. You can still bomb, and the audience is aware of that. I also think charisma can make them forget. Neil, what's your drink of choice? He says, it's embarrassing. I drink Corona. What's wrong with Corona? I love Corona. Neil, are you a beach person? Neil says, I am kind of a beach person. Like on your birthday, you get a birthday cake and you do good and you go to the beach. I'm fair-skinned and I have a skin cancer joke in my new Netflix special. But I don't know what to do there. I just read, I guess. Neil, do you enjoy traveling? Neil said, I do like traveling. I like walking around big cities, putting my bag down, putting on shoes, and then walking for 10 miles. Tokyo was a great walking city. Singapore, London, Paris. Now I'm just naming cities. Let's take a look at the Netflix Is a Joke Comedy Festival. 4 p.m. Pacific, the greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady, low tickets warning. 7 Pacific, the Ali Wong residency, Patton Oswalt, also at 7, Heather McMahon, also at 7, Felipe Esparza. You know, you guys can spread this out. You don't have to have 10 shows all at once. See, Melissa Villasenor at 7, Sydney Washington at 7. There's a lot of shows. All right, then there's some later shows. The Drop-In with Janelle James at 8:30. Sarah Jordan Jensen at 9. Yeah, I don't like how this is laid out. It's kind of all over the place. Chinedu Unaka and friends. All right, let's see. Well, obviously, we would somehow get into the roast of Tom Brady. That's the big shiny event. And then I would say 7 o'clock, Patton. Just taking another look. Patton. And then Chinedu Unaka is pretty funny. I've played him on the Live One show a few times. Let's do that for the late show. Meanwhile, Sydney is quiet tomorrow. Nothing going on, so I don't have any clips to play for you today. Want you to get your money's worth here. Let me do one more story. Nick Offerman spoke to the Washington Post. Nick Offerman played the president in that recent Civil War movie. Washpo wrote to his friends, it's not a surprise that Nick is playing the president. In fact, for 12 years now, Conan O'Brien claims that he's been trying to get Nick Offerman to play Theodore Roosevelt. Conan said, I think more than any actor alive today, and I'm not making a joke, he could play TR better than anybody. Amy Poehler says Nick shouldn't limit himself. I think Nick has the talent and the hair to play any president he chooses. This summer, Nick Offerman will be heading to Budapest to play, this sounds like a joke, but this is real. He's going to play Chester A. Arthur in the Netflix series Death by Lightning about the 1881 assassination of President James Garfield. This from the guys who used to run Game of Thrones. One more. The Harvard Crimson wrote, Women are funny. Female comedians that you should watch. They have a list. They wrote Taylor Tomlinson. Taylor Tomlinson is the it girl of the stand-up scene. Ali Wong, probably best known for her Emmy Award-winning performance on Beef. 3rd, Tig Notaro. 4, Margaret Cho. 5, Joanne McNally. You didn't see that coming, right? Joanne is popular not just for her stand-up, but for her podcast, My Therapist Ghosted Me. 6, Tiffany Haddish. And that's it. That's the entire list. No, I don't know, Beth Stelling, Adriana Palucci, Leanne Morgan. No. All right. That's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. You can subscribe to the Calaroga Shark Network now. Get episodes ad-free. Open up Apple Podcasts. They'll put that option in front of you. $4.99 a month. 30-day free trial. Try it out. See you tomorrow.